When you're starting out, there's obviously some modifications that we can work through or work on to slowly build up to the full variation. So what I'll do now is run through some of those modifications. Sarah's going to inhale the hands up, lengthening through the arms, look to the thumbs. And then as you exhale forward, it's okay to bend the knees so that the body can come into the thighs and the face in towards the shins. Then when you inhale and lengthen out to come under the fingertips, keep the knees bent, but try and maintain or get a nice long spine. And then you place the hands down, bending the knees as much as necessary so you've got flat palms, and then you can just step the feet back to move into the high plank position. From this plank position, one of the most common mistakes that we find people make if they haven't got the strength in the core and the arms yet is that when they lower down, either the belly area or the midriff area drops and they sort of collapse into the position. Another one of the mistakes that people can make when they're lowering down for chaturanga is that they hold the buttocks or the mid area up too high and then they lower the top part of the body down. So to modify that and make sure that you're building on it slowly and doing things correctly, what you can do is actually drop the knees down and point the toes back and then just check in and make sure that the arms are, or hands I should say, are underneath the shoulders and they're aligned properly. And then as you lower down, you want to keep the shoulder blades squeezing together and the elbows in nice and tight so that you're trying to keep the integrity through the body and the pelvic floor and the lower belly switched on. Then when you're coming into the upward facing dog position from chaturanga, one of the things that we often see people do is that they have their hands a little bit too far forward from the shoulders. They completely collapse into the lower back and it can kink quite strongly into the lower back here, and then the shoulders rise up quite high and hunch up around the ears. And this isn't connecting and lengthening through the front side of the body, which is one of the purposes of upward facing dog. And it means that all you're going to do really is end up damaging the low back over time. So from here, what you want to do to correct it is take the hands underneath the shoulders and just work on the modifications. So the first step is just lifting into what we call like a cobra type position, where you're not actually pressing very strongly through the hands, but you are switching on all of the muscles either side of the spine and learning to connect with those areas very strongly. And then once you've done that for a little while and you feel like you're developing some of the strength in the back, you can start to press through the hands and lift a little higher until eventually you can come all the way up. And this way you can draw the shoulders back and lift the chest through and up so that you're not compressing so much into the lower back and you're feeling a long and strong stretch through the front side of the body. Then from there, extending back into the downward facing dog position. So as you see with Sarah, she just stepped the feet forward, and then again you can bend the knees until the length comes in the back of the legs, and think of pushing the sit bones up and back. So that actually creates the length through the spine. If you don't bend the knees and you keep them straight and the hamstrings are a little bit tight, what can sometimes happen is that the spine can round. Just round your spine for me there, Sarah. And we lose the integrity through the torso and also the connection with the bandhas or the pelvic floor and the core musculature. So never be in a rush to progress and move the legs straight or try and get yourself into the deepest expression. Just allow the body to unfold naturally over time. At the end of the fifth breath, we bend the knees and then step the feet forward. Take the breath in, lengthening, looking up between the eyebrows, and then exhale, folding forward, face towards the shin, keeping the knees bent. And then take an inhale, come all the way up to standing. Then when it feels safe, straightening the legs, pressing the palms and coming down for Samasthiti. So that was Surya Namaskara A and all of its modifications.